Welcome everybody to our class of today, the 13th of November 2023. You're all welcome, and especially to the new students, you're all welcome to this amazing class. Before we start, I just want to ask and find out from you, what will happen to you if you don't improve on your communication skills? I just want to type on the chat box, what will happen to you if you don't improve on your communication skills? Everybody go to the chat box and type just one thing or two things or three things that will happen to you if you don't improve on your communication skills, okay? What is that thing? What will happen to you if you don't improve on your communication skill? You'll be seen as an illiterate. Thank you, Baron. You'll be seen as an illiterate. Very true, because in organizations, the most intelligent people who don't know how to communicate, are never regarded intelligent. But those who are not less intelligent but they communicate well, they are regarded as intelligent. Thank you so much, Baron. Please open your mics. You'll be seen as an illiterate. Fantastic. Boris, there will be lack of trust. Thank you, Boris. Fantastic. There will be lack of trust. If I don't improve on my communication skills, I will lose opportunities. Javis, let me read. Skills, I will remain stagnant. Thank you, Javis. I will remain stagnant. Very true. When you Luther, then I didn't make use of this opportunity. Thank you, Luther. You will not make use of your opportunities. Lyra, lost contracts and opportunities. Fantastic. Yeah. Let's know what will happen to you if you don't improve on your communication skills. What will happen to you? Lyra is saying that you're going to lose contracts and opportunities. Luther is saying that you not make good use of opportunities. Jerry is saying that your communication skill will be stagnant. And of course, Boris is saying that you're going to lack trust. People won't trust you. And Baron is saying that you're going to sing as an illiterate. Fantastic. Now, Milton is saying that I won't be able to communicate my ideas to the people who can buy it or people that need it. Fantastic. Now, lastly, what will happen to you if you improve on your communication skills? Go to the chat box and write. What will happen to you if you improve on your communication skills? Let us know what will happen. What do you think will happen to you if you, as you begin to improve on your communication skills? What is that thing that's going to happen to you? Let's know. Write on the chat box. People may claim what belongs to you. Open to greater opportunities. Fantastic. Yep. Yes. Open to greater opportunities. Fantastic. And that's why you're here. Thank you, Lyra. Nancy. Yeah. What will happen to you if you improve on your communication skills? Boris, you inspire many people and feel free coming closer to them. Great. Thank you, Boris and guests. You inspire more people. Yes, Jervis will gain more chance to speak. Yes. What else? What will happen to you if you improve on your communication abilities? You will believe more on yourself. Fantastic. Thank you, Baron. You believe more on yourself. What again will happen if you improve on your communication ability? Okay, Raymond, unmute your mics, please. Thank you. What will happen to you? Yes, Luther, communicate your ideas. So, communicate your ideas with confidence. Thank you, Luther. You communicate your ideas definitely with confidence. Yes, Boris, you have self-confidence. Fantastic. You achieve everything you need. I love this. You didn't hear that? You achieve everything you need if you can only improve on your communication skills. Thank you, Raymond. What is Milton saying? I will be able to effectively communicate my ideas and reach a broader audience. Yes. Great. So if you're in this class tonight and you want to improve your communication skills and gain everything and get everything and achieve everything you want to achieve, I want you to type yes on the chat box. Type yes on the chat box. Yes, I just wanted to type yes on the chat box. Thank you, Lyra. Thank you, Boris. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Baron. Thank you, Jervis. Thank you, Luther. Fantastic. Great. So it is so amazing. it is so amazing that you want to jack up your communication skill to the next level, and you are going to be the next king or the next queen of public speaking in Cameroon to Africa, because we live at a time where there is a revolution that is about to take place in this country, and you should not be left behind. You should be, the trailblazer, the person championing the public speaking in your community, and to join the league of leaders in Cameroon and Africa that they're actually championing public speaking around the world. So it is a fantastic opportunity that you have to grab it and grab it. Like I used to say, every significant opportunity, you don't see it and seize it, you lost it. My prayers is that you're not going to lose. And none of you here tonight in this amazing class is going to lose any opportunity. All right. That being said and done, let's jump into what we're going to be doing today. What to do after my talk. What to do after my talk. What to do after my talk. Yes, yes, yes. What do you do after your talk? Now, let's share briefly, okay? Let unmute your mic. This is a public speaking masterclass. Unmute your mics, or maybe let's go back to the chat box. Okay, I don't want to interrupt. Everybody, what do you think is the first thing you should do immediately you finish your talk? What do you do when you're done with your presentation? Write down on the chat box. Let us read from your comments. What do you do immediately talk is done? What do you think is the right thing to do immediately your talk is done? Thanks and appreciation. Lara, fantastic. Thanks and appreciation. Great, great, great. Thanks for your audience. Yeah, yeah, great. Lara, great. What do you do after your talk? Write down in the chat box. What do you do after you finish with your presentation? What do you think is the right thing to do after your presentation? Write it down, write it down, write it down. Great, great. Thank you for your kind attention. You upload the presentation online. Okay, Milton, I love that. That should be online, I guess. What do you do after your talk? Okay, Lyra is saying you're going to thank your audience. Raymond is saying that you're going to appreciate your audience again. Milton is saying that you're going to upload the presentation online. Thanks for your active attention. Luther is saying, yeah, great, active. Give them your contact details. Lyra, great, I love that. Give your contact details. And then Boris is saying, thanks for your kind attention. Take a deep breath and relax yourself. Yeah, I love that. It's a little bit out of the box. That's a little bit out of the box. Great, great, great. Okay, what do you do after you're done with your presentation? Okay, what do you do? Oh, sorry, we just missed Jerry's hand up. Okay, the feedback by having an informal conversation with some members of your audience. Oh yeah, get feedback. This is fantastic. Those things you are putting down, those are the exact things you gotta do. You gotta do. When I finished my presentation in Arizona a few weeks ago, Arizona, USA, during my presentation, I put a pen. There was a pen on my chest pocket in my suit. There was a pen on my chest pocket of my suit. Immediately after my presentation, everybody was clapping, and I was like, okay, this is great, this is great. By the way, it was a very difficult audience to talk to. You know what it means by a young Cameroonian who has only been speaking around Cameroon and Africa, spoken once in Asia and Singapore, been to America, not talking to youth, not talking to women, because these are audience that you can easily find your way around them, but talking to men who are in business, entrepreneurs, CEOs, directors of companies and organizations. And you know how complicated men can be. And then after you finish your talk, they're clapping. And you're like, okay, okay, okay. And before you notice, one just walked up to you and say, Oliver, your presentation was really great. But one thing that I want to let you know is that anytime you're coming to speak on the stage, don't put any pen on your chest pocket. And I'm like, yeah, I was waiting for something like this, And he was like, that was great. That was great. Second thing he told me, Oliver, it was really amazing listening to you, and I learned quite a lot of things. But at a certain point, I wasn't understanding your language. At a certain point, I did not get what you are saying. You see, it's not an easy exercise to jump from America to Africa or to Cameroon and begin to talk, and people are getting you clearly. It's a tough job, man. It's a tough job. And vice versa. When you move to America, the tone with which I talk is I'm trying to blend my tone. Cameroon or Africa versus America. But again, immediately when I arrived, my tone was Cameroonian tone. And most of these guys, I had to quickly adapt by trying to rap a little bit because they could not really get. And how do I do that? I had to slow down. You know, instead of talking faster and they're not getting, I have to talk slowly, so that they can get what I'm saying. So that aspect of articulation was very, very important. And that is how I was able to maneuver. Now, in my second presentation in Dallas, Texas, I actually, fortunately, I was talking to African people, so it was not a big deal. But the lesson I've learned from the feedback this gentleman gave me was that, one, I got to slow down because I'm talking to people from a different culture and they're not getting my pronunciation, my enunciation as much as I think they are getting. Two, I have to ensure that next time I shouldn't put any pen on my chest pocket because that is a point of distraction. Just like you should not wear any dress with writings on it. Never, ever, ever, ever put on a dress with writings on it as a speaker. Who can tell me why? On the chat box. Why do you think that it's not professional to put a dress with writings on it or a pen on your chest when you're talking to people? Okay? What do you think? Okay. Distract the audience? Yeah. When it will cause distraction? Yeah. Thank you, Luther. Fantastic. It will cause distraction? Yeah, sure. It will definitely do that, right? It will distract your audience. It will distract your audience. So by the way, briefly, let me just share this very interesting this story with you guys. The information might not sound good in the ears. That's the write-up, right, Raymond? I think so. So there was this pastor that was preaching on Sunday. The pastor was preaching and people were excited what the pastor was saying. And at a certain point, one mother that sat in front of the church, you know, started crying. The pastor was preaching, this woman was crying. The pastor was preaching, this woman was crying, weeping, and the pastor was preaching with a lot of energy and passion. You know, the woman was crying. And again, the pastor thought that this woman is crying because of the sound of the message, the intensity of the message, that message is arresting her heart, and that's why she is crying. And guess what? After the church, the pastor decided to inquire why this woman was crying. And guess what the woman said? The woman said something very touching. The woman said, when you were preaching, pastor, I saw your long white beards. And those beards were just like the beards of my goat that is two weeks ago. And when I was seeing your beards, I was so disturbed because I missed my goat. That's why I was crying. Right? That's why I was crying. That's why I was crying. All right. So this pastor could have thought that he has hammered that very Sunday, that he preaches until, you know, somebody was crying in church. But the pastor never knew that his beards were long and they were white beards. And that woman was looking at the beards and thinking about her goat that is tall. I had the same kind of beards. Come to think about that. That's a power feedback. So when you do a presentation and you ask feedback from your students, it's fantastic. You ask feedback from your audience, it's fantastic. You don't necessarily need to be asking feedback from everybody. You could just call out 1, 2, 3 persons and inquire, what did you learn? Was it making sense? Any feedback you want to share with me? What went well? What did not go well? Yari. That's how you get feedback. Okay. So the first thing you should do when you finish with your talk, number one, is that you should be able to provide information about yourself, about your business, about your organization, that people can be able to contact you. All right. People can be able to contact you when they need your services. People should know where to get you. They should know how to get you through for the phone. They should know how to get you through social media platforms or handles. They should know how to be able to get you through your office or through your organization. So you're going to give your phone number, your emails, your address, and of course, possibly your location. That's very important. So that if they're looking for you, they can easily get you. Yes? Beautiful. So the first thing you do is to make sure that the last slide of your talk should be having at least your contact numbers. And the modern way to do this is not by putting your telephone number, your email, your address, and your website on the last slide. This is how we do it in modern day. You're going to generate a QR code. Now, how many of you here have seen someone who has done a presentation and the last slide, instead of putting telephone numbers and contact and all the other details to trace the person back, they rather put back and QR code? How many of you have seen the QR code at the end of the presentation? Just say yes. If you've seen that, just say yes. Who has seen that? Okay, great. A couple of people, yes, okay. Lyra have seen that, yes. Okay, Luther have not seen it. Okay, great. Milton have seen it, great. So, okay, for those of you who have not seen, you're going to see today. So, what is the significance of that? What is the significance of that? What is the significance of that? The QR code actually is the details. The QR code has the details of every other information. So the QR code could be the link to your website coded, link to your telephone number coded, link to any of your contacts or social media platform coded. So my QR code is actually the link to my website. Okay. Now, for those of you who have not been able to see a QR code, this let me also just show you an example of the QR code here. Right? So it could be the link to any of your social media platform. That is very, very important. So instead of putting in heavy contacts and all of that, what you simply do is that you put in your QR code. You put in your QR code, all right? So the QR code is an advanced way and it's a very presentable way to give your contact details. And so the question you'll be asking me is, after your QR code is given, what next? What next? What next? After your QR code is given, what is the next thing? All right. Of course, you're giving them so that they can contact you. So the next thing you should be expecting is that they should be able to contact you through your QR code. All right. So, quickly. Okay. So after your QR code is given, the next thing is that they're definitely going to contact you. Okay. Now, the second thing you should do after your contact number has been given is to socialize, is to socialize with your audience members and then get feedback from them. I want you to go to the chat box and type socialize. Everybody go to the chat box and type socialize. Type there socialize. Type there socialize. Okay. Thank you so much. Socialize. Why must you socialize? You're socializing because you are able to get feedback from people, which is very, very, very important. Very, very important. If you don't socialize, you may not know what they're thinking. You may not know what is in their mind. If you blundered or you messed up or you over-delivered or you under-delivered, it's very important to socialize. So that is why you should not do a kind of presentation or talks around the world where after your talk, you're rushing to the next talk. No, at least you should give yourself 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes after your talk. Stay around and try to interact. I'm not saying that you should not have an emergency and then you should have an emergency and you want to stay back again. No, I'm saying that when you do a talk, at least give yourself some 15 minutes, less plus or minus, to stay around and get feedback about your presentation. All right. So it's good to do that. Scan me. This is my, if you please take off your phones and scan this. Everybody take off your phones and scan this and you see something. Scan this and tell me what you've seen. Just pick up your phones and scan this on your screen. Especially for those who are using laptops. Who has been able to scan? Anybody who has been able to scan? Okay. Okay, you were able to scan? Oh, socialize. Okay, thank you, Luther. Yeah, noted. Yeah, that's a designer's error. Socialize. So when you scan this code, what you notice is that you see my website will just pop onto your phone and all of that. So you'll be able to do that. All right, you'll be able to do that. So this is very important. Okay, this is very important. So the second thing which is very important is to do what? Stay back and socialize with your people. All right, and before socializing, make sure you're giving them your contact number through the scan me or through the QR code. You have given the contact number, you've given your email address, you've given your website. But by the way, if you scan this, you'll see on your screen, you're going to have my contact number, my email, and of course, the first thing you will see is my website. And in my website, all my contacts and addresses are in the website. You will see that, right? So the last and the most important thing you should never, ever forget after your talk is reflect on your mistakes. Reflect on your mistakes and what you did well, like what you did not do well. This is very, very important. That is very, very important. There is no way you can become a better speaker, a great speaker, if after every presentation, you're only trying to see what to do next in the other presentation. You must sit down, reflect, and meditate on what you have just spoken so that you'll be able to know what went well and what did not go well. Okay, so you should be able to know what went well and what did not go well. So that will help you to be a better speaker in the next time. For instance, maybe in the course of your talk, you crack a joke that people did not laugh. When that happens, what should you do? When that happens, what should you do? When you crack a joke as a speaker and people don't laugh, what should you go ahead and crack the same joke in the next event? Should we do that? I don't think you should do that, right? No, thank you, Boris. You should not do that. What should you do? No, thank you, Luther. You shouldn't do that. Thank you so much, dear brother. You shouldn't do that. You should rather think of how you can rephrase. Thank you, Raymond. No, you have to modify it. Thank you. Modify the joke. Rephrase the joke. Change the joke. That is the power of reflecting and meditating on your presentation before you go back again to present. Okay, that's fantastic. That is the power of meditating and reflecting on your presentation, correcting your errors, and then amending it for the next presentation. And by the way, one thing you need to know is that as a speaker, 90% of the mistakes you ever make on the stage will never be noticed by your audience. Did you hear that? 90% of the mistakes you ever make on the stage will not be noticed by your audience. Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why on the chat box? Why is that 90% of the mistake you make on the stage will not be noticed by the audience that you're talking to them? Who can tell me why? Right, all right. Who want to do that? Who want to do that? Who want to try? They are not professional. Raymond, you never stop amazing me, right? That's a good one. That's a good one. They are not professional, yeah? Who else want to try? Who else want to try? That was a good one, Raymond. Who else want to try? 90% of the mistake you make on the stage will not be noticed by your audience because, what are you saying? Because they are busy concentrating on what you're saying and your topic. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. It's simply because they did not prepare the presentation with you, right? Yeah, they did not prepare the presentation with you. So you prepare, you know what you did, you know the statistics you got, you know how you put your point, you know the facts, you know the research you did, right? So they will not be doing it with you. So whatever you tell them, they will not understand, they might not know that that was an error. Unless you're talking to a very smart group of people that everything you're saying, they're Google checking and ChatGPT, checking if you're right or you're wrong. So they were not there when you're preparing your talk, so they will not know if you make a mistake or not. But don't make mistakes, though you know that they were not there when you're preparing. So work hard on your content, work hard, rehearse, practice, rehearse again and again before you come to present. So remember always that 90% of the errors you make on the stage will not be noticed by your audience. And that does not give you the latitude to go and be making mistakes on the stage because you know that they will not notice. No, 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 no. That rather tells you that, hey, when you make a mistake, don't say I'm sorry. Because the moment you keep saying I'm sorry on the stage, you are telling them that you are not a professional. You're telling them that you do not prepare. You're telling them that, hey guys, I'm a clown. You don't got to take me serious. Don't take me serious. So when you make your mistakes, don't apologize. Go straight to the point. When you say something wrong, say oh, and then say the right thing. Oh, just say, did you get me right? I was saying that. That's what you should do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for today. Very brief and interesting class, right? So what we're gonna do is that you're gonna go to the chat box or to the WhatsApp platform and drop your questions. There, I'm gonna respond to them as I prepared with these US students are coming up shortly. I'm gonna have a